This is a video for how to go about creating number 15 for your 20 ISOs project in Fusion 360. You'll notice as we look at number 15, we kind of have a rectangular prism base here with kind of this, base come up with this rounded off top and kind of this kind of skateboard ramp kind of looking thing here. We'll start by creating our rectangular prism base. And so we're going to look at this right here is going to be our front view. So the height's going to be 1 and the width's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the depth will be 6. So we got 1 by 10 by 6. So we're going to go ahead and click on our plane, and I'm going to go to my line command, and I'm going to come up to 1, and I want 10 wide. I think I might have just drawn 1 there. So I think I hit something too fast. 10 wide. And we're just going to come over and just kind of play connect the dots. You can kind of drag down till you see 1, play connect the dots, finish your sketch. So that's 1 by 10. We're going to extrude. I'm going to get my house button here. I'm going to drag back to where we go -10. So we have ourselves kind of this plate here that everything is built on. I said 10, didn't I? One thing that's nice about making a mistake in a video, just because you're not thinking, is I can right click on this down here and I can go up to edit feature, and I put in -10. I actually went -6. So it's 1 by 10 by 6. So when down at the bottom, when you make a mistake, happens to all of us, I can right click and go to edit sketch. If I messed up 1 or 10 there, I can always go back, and fix those things. I'm always kind of glad when, I'm just thinking ahead of myself a little bit in a video. I can actually show how to correct mistakes when they happen, because they'll happen to everybody. Next thing we'll do is we could grab a hold of the whole command and start creating holes, but I want to place points. And one thing I want you to notice is these do not line up perfectly along lines. We're going to place points that are going to be 1.5 from the front and 1.5 from the side. And this one over here is 1.5 from the back, 1.5 from the side. We're going to place a total of 3 points. So we're going to click on our sketch button, and we're going to click on this surface of our object, and we are going to go to the create button, and we're going to go down to the word point. And I just want to place 3 points right now. It doesn't matter where you place them right now. We're just going to place 3 points. I'm going to right click and say OK, and grab a hold of my sketch dimension button. And I want to go from our point to our side here is 1.5. And all I want to do in this case is just go around, and we just have to place some dimensions. Now I could write in 1.5. I can click on this little edge here and come down to 1.5 and say enter, and I can have that. I can just kind of go around and click as I go. The other thing I can do is I can just tap on one of these 1.5s. You'll see D4. A D means a dimension. I can just go in and just place dimensions as I go. I can come down here to 1.5, hit enter, do the same things here for each object. It's 1.5 from the side for both, 1.5 from the back over here, and I can just go in and place those dimensions, and now they are all lined up perfectly for each side. So I'm going to go ahead and just be done with this and say finish sketch, and you're going to see those little dots that we have. They might look like holes or something, but they're actually just points from sketches. So now when we come up and we go to the hole command, it's going to say face sketch points, and all I have to do is come out and click on each one of these points, and automatically it's going to recognize those as holes. So instead of making 3 separate holes with a drill, we just placed points, and it's just going, oh, we see the points from the sketch, we can go in and place them. The diameter for our holes is going to be 1, because you're going to notice that the holes basically perfectly fit inside of 1 square. So the diameter is going to be 1. So the diameter is 1. The distance is going to be all, because they go all the way through the object, and we're going to say OK. And we now have ourselves 3 holes that go all the way through the object. You can see that. So the 3 holes go all the way through the object, pretty easy to see. I'm going to click on our house button. We have one fillet to do over here on the side, and you're going to notice this fillet right here looks like it's going to be the radius in the front. There's 2 of them, excuse me. There's going to be a 1.5 radius here, because notice this is in the middle of the object. It doesn't perfectly line up with a corner. So our fillets on the front, we grab our fillet command, are going to be 1.5. So this line right here and this line right here, we want for our radius to be 1.5. And you'll notice that basically perfectly puts our holes at the center points of these arcs, which would mean they are concentric to the arcs. And we're going to go ahead and say OK. And this right here is the base bare bones front of our object. So when we go back to our sketch here, our next thing to create is this object here, and there's multiple ways to go about doing this. I'd prefer to make a rectangular prism that comes to here. We're going to ignore this curve for now. So this is going to be 4 by 2, because it's 2 deep and it's 4 wide. So we're going to go ahead and click on our create sketch button and click on the top, and we're going to go to 2-point rectangle, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to go to 4, tab 2, enter, and go to finish sketch and click on our house button. So we now have this little square right here. So like, how high up should we go? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall. We're going to go to extrude, click in here, put in 6, and hit enter. And one thing I like about doing things this way is it's easy just to create a large massive object and then subtract mass as you go. So one thing about filleting is filleting can subtract mass and add mass. So we want to take away this edge, and the radius here is 2 because the diameter is 4. So we're going to do a radius of 2. We're going to go to fillet, and we're going to click on this edge here and this edge here, and we're going to put in a distance of 2 and hit enter. Now the other thing we can do for fillets is when we click on fillet and we click on this spot right here, you can also do additive part creation as opposed to subtractive. So we subtracted mass when we kind of sanded off these edges up here. Now in this case we have a radius of 2 here as well. So out here we're going to put in a radius of 2. And you're going to notice it adds mass there. It's like you took clay and kind of smeared it in and created that skateboard ramp shape. And you're going to go ahead and hit enter. So our next object to do is to put the hole in the middle of the thing, and the hole has a diameter of 2. Click on your hole toolbar. Click on our surface here. Let's go to the front. And we can kind of drag our object in, and we can see that little center point right there. It snaps right into that center point. Our diameter is 2. From the left to the right is 2 diameter. 2. Distance, all, okay. That's our house button. We have now completely created number 15 for your 20 ISOs project in Fusion 360.